Aloha friends, Robert Stehlik with Blue Planet. I'm here with my friends, our Oahu wing foiling crew. We all went to Maui last weekend. We did like a long weekend. Actually, the weekend before that, we were already over there for the paddle and mua race. But today's video is going to be about the race from Maui to Molokai and then the Molokai Holokai race. So Derek got some good footage from on the water, and then Kevin's here. For you, this was the first time you did this race, right, Kevin?
Oh, yes.
And
it was amazing.
Yeah, and then Matt's here as well. And for you, you did this last year too, right, Matt?
I did a practice crossing with you guys last year, but I didn't do the actual race. So yeah, first time racing across.
Yeah, so I'm going to roll a little bit of the footage here that we have from this trip. Okay, so a lot of this footage is from you, Derek. So you want to talk a little bit about what's going on?
Yeah, so on Thursday morning, we went to the airport and jumped on a plane, getting ready to fly to Maui to get ready. This footage right here is already on Maui. It wasn't looking too promising. The wind was kind of light and stuff like that, but as soon as we started packing up, getting ready, there was a bunch of wind just starting to flow. The trees were moving, started looking great. Everybody was stoked. We had a great crew of all of us, Oahu and San Francisco wingers.
Yeah, so first thing we did was head straight to Maliko and did a Maliko run on Thursday. Well, after we had some nice breakfast, right?
Yes.
And then you picked up a new board, Derek, from Jimmy Lewis?
Yes, yeah, I picked up a nice playing board. That was pretty good. I think, Kevin, if I'm not mistaken, that was your first run, Maliko run?
Yes, that was my first run, Maliko. It was amazing from the bay paddling out, and I was the last one to get up. I try to get up early and try to be lazy and not paddle out to the wing line, and thinking that it was enough for me, but it was a lot of swirls, and I was the last one to get up and basically to get down there.
Yeah, and then the wind got super light at the end, and I guess Fuzzy wasn't able to get back in. Yeah, so you had to pick him up somewhere.
Yeah, we went down by the sewer plant. Right before the harbor, went in and picked him up, and then yeah, got over to once everybody was accounted for, then we went ahead and went to the race briefing at High Tech Maui. And here's the crew, everybody getting ready, loaded up, ready to, we got some food, ate some food, and then this is the next morning, actually the race day. Everybody's all jazzed up, got a nice pink shirts on, we're all fueled up. Fortunately, my cousin was able to put in the U-Haul van in the back there, or the box truck. And just get us going, you know. We all got ready, great camaraderie with everybody there. Watched those guys at 9:30, had the first crew go out. There was the stand-up paddles and the canoes, and then the stand-up spoilers all went out before. They had to paddle pretty far up to the middle of the channel and get started. So we just kind of waited, hung out, and then wing to that starting line.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing how many stand-up paddle foilers there were. Yeah, I think 120 people on stand-up foil boards. Amazing how quick that sport's growing. So, yeah, and we were kind of expecting kind of lighter winds, but it was actually pretty nice wind that morning, right?
It was amazing. It was, to me, it was the best run of my life. It was the first time and was very distracting. Actually out in the bay, looking into Maui on my left, and then on the right, it was Molokai. Was just breathtaking and very distracting because it's so beautiful.
Yeah, Matt, what were your impressions, Matt?
Yeah, that was a great run. It was it was really interesting for me just because I had never been to the start or the finish, so a lot of it was kind of, navigating and guesswork along the way, which was really cool just to kind of like, be out in that channel I've never been in before and really focused on, trying to figure out where the finish was. And initially the wind was really good. I think it got better in the middle, and then, I really thought, I'd have somebody to follow into the finish line, but towards the middle of the race, everybody was spread out. Every once in a while, I'd pass a SUP foiler. I was with my buddy Reza, who we did it together. So it was kind of the two of us yelling at each other. Do you see the wharf yet? So yeah, it was a really fun race, really exciting, really challenging from kind of a navigational perspective, and then yeah, just really good wind.
Yeah, and then here Derek's, they started the stand-up foilers first. So Derek's kind of chasing them down a little bit. I think it was like 5 minutes before the wing foil start, right? They started them. So that all the wing foilers are lining up. And yeah, and the wind was pretty steady right from the start.
Yes. Yes. Wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah, the start of the stand-up, they pretty much majority of the guys all got up and started going, which was good. They kind of cleared our path, so they went ahead, whatever boats had, went ahead, and there was just a few boats that were, I guess, waiting for the wingers to start and everything else. So we ended up getting up on foil. Once they sound the horn for us to go, we went, and then all the rest of the boats and the patterns all went too.
I'm gonna play this part again because there's this guy waving. Wait, did I miss it already? But yeah, here this guy was kind of waving, right? Waving at people, and nobody stopped for him. And then you stopped right there.
Yeah, the guy right there. Yeah.
So yeah, the guy broke his paddle on this right at the start, and all the wing foilers went past him, but Derek stopped and helped him out and got some help for him, right? So then I guess at that point we were kind of pretty far behind everyone else already, so you kind of just took your time and filmed everyone, huh?
Yeah, after that
Yes,
was just change the mindset. Yeah.
that's Pilot John and me right here passing by. I was wondering why Derek come back to film us. Why? Then later we found out that he had to help one of the guys on the paddle that broke.
Yeah, and also looked like the official boat went right across the waked you out, yeah.
Yeah. At first I was mad that they kind of went in my line, but I think that was kind of like a good sign, because if I wouldn't have taken that line, I wouldn't have seen the guy in the water waving, went by and I seen him waving. He was waving at the boats actually, and the boats never stopped. And he started waving at the boilers, and everybody just kept going. And so I just came by. I was like, "Yo, you all right?" And he said, "Nobody's stopping for me." I was like, "Oh, okay." So just stop and offered assistance.
Yeah, and then you tracked down one of the escort boats to help him out, yeah. Because the official boats already all were gone, right?
Yeah, a bunch of the boats, jet skis, everybody just kind of left. But I did see a boat all the way on the far corner on the Molokai side, and I ended up chasing them down, waving them down, and then got their attention. They followed me back to where the was sitting, and then from there I just took off and went back to the race. But after that, it was just like, yeah, just have fun with it, Get some photos of everybody. That's racing.
Yeah, here's Nohea. She
Right here, I think you got
the day before she was kind of struggling with the light wind, so she went out to High Tech and bought a brand new wing so she would have a bigger size wing at.
Oh, nice.
So, but yeah,
Yes, she did an amazing time. I was
Yeah,
so proud of her.
that worked out really well for her. She got getting that new wing was perfect. 'Cause yeah, she did really well in that all the races, really.
Yeah, and it was really, she's only been winging for a little over a year, right? From what I understand. So pretty amazing that she's doing that well already. Watch out for her next year, I'm sure. So who's that, Derek?
They're just some of the paddlers, the canoe paddlers and the stand-up people. Originally it started off with them. They were doing the race, you know, the stand-up and the canoes. So whenever I came upon one of those guys, I was like, hey, let me film them because that's like OGs. Let me just get their footage and whatnot. And they were stoked, you know, just to see somebody else coming by, not just zooming by and just getting their footage and whatnot. I shared this with a bunch of the other people. So hopefully each paddler, each racer got, you know, that got their footage on. And if they watch this Blue Planet video, yeah, they will be able to see themselves. I think this is Dirk right there. El Gelato Dirk.
Oh yeah, El
He did
Gelato.
great too.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Unfortunately, Rob was all the way in the front, so I couldn't get his footage. But yeah, it was just like gone. You know, as soon as the thing started, oh, shoot, it was so fast, so fast. And I think Matt would have been right up there with them, but you know, he was with Reza, the other guy from San Francisco, that his buddy that flew in, and they kind of went back and back, you know, stayed together, make sure everybody got in safely, which is cool.
The unofficial SF team.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
And here we're getting close.
You know, I heard from them last time. Yeah.
Yeah, and then getting close
towards the end, I
Molokai
think this looked like.
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, getting close, and then we ended up catching up with a bunch of the stand-up foilers, and just figure I get some shots of them, you know, and enjoying a couple selfies too.
Yeah, Derek, you're pretty amazing that you can just like
How was that race?
and race at the same time.
Oh yeah. Just bust them out. How was the race for you, Rob? In conditions and your gear and all that, was it pretty spot on?
Yeah, I mean, my equipment worked out pretty well. I was on this MikeSap 600, and I was kind of wishing I had my 540, which is a little bit faster.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of the really fast guys like Alan Cadiz and Ken Winner, they were on the MikeSap 340, so they had like tiny foils and they were super fast. Just took off and
Wow.
were pretty much gone pretty quickly. But you know, the bumps were really nice, and I was stoked. Yeah, I ended up actually finishing official 4th place. So, because yeah, Justin Simmer and Ken Winner, they fell in towards the end, and actually, yeah, Derek, you finished like in 6th or 7th place. Yeah, so shortly behind. So you caught up with a lot of people, I guess, along the way. And then Edo,
I think.
Edo from
Yeah.
Oahu.
What's up, guys?
Well, yeah. Sorry, go ahead, Derek.
Oh yeah, that's all the sub guys. They came in pretty quick too. It was a super battle. It's like an arms race with the stand-up guys. It's super heated.
Yeah, and yeah, after I finished, like and my feet were burning, so I found the finished tent and stood in the shade and took some video of some of the other people finishing, which was kind of cool to see. And here you can see, like at the harbor, once you come around the corner there, the wind is pretty dead. So it goes from super windy to kind of lighter wind, and then pretty much a wind shadow right behind the wharf there. So made it pretty hard for especially the stand-up foilers to finish on foil. And
Right.
there's Army Armstrong, I think, yeah. So yeah, it was like a pump fest at the end if they could make it. And then a lot of the wing foilers who couldn't wing all the way to the finish line. Were you guys all able to wing all the way to the finish line?
Yeah, I
Yes,
got
for
lucky
me.
somehow. Somehow I got to the boat ramp, which was, I think, unusual.
Yeah.
It was light, and then a gust came, and it was enough to take us right back up to get in. And the finish line was way inside, so we got in.
That was dirt.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah, on that finish, like there was massing containers blocking, and then there's open spots, and then the buildings and stuff like that. So you really had to, like, you see the texture on the water, you really had to read that. And when you see the texture, you kind of like accelerate and get yourself through that next spot. See how it's glassy right in that area? So you get as much acceleration as you can so you can glide through the glassiness until you see the next textured zone. Then you power up again and get through. Because if you didn't do that and you just kind of made your way and dilly dallied, you would definitely drop off oil and you'd be like these guys lay down paddling, which kind of a bummer to finish a race that way. But yeah, you just gotta just lean into it and just make use of it. And then once you come to that flat zone, then you just pump, 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 and just make it. Will your way through the finish line.
Yeah, and that was where kind of for me, even though I had the bigger, slower, a little bit slower foil, at the end, that kind of paid off because I was able to, kind of pump through the lulls a little bit and basically pass Ken Winner and Justin Simmer, who were quite a bit faster than me, but then at the end they had to basically paddle into the finish. So they lost precious minutes at the end, and I was able to pass them just flying on my bigger foil. So that was good.
Oh, right on. Yeah, strategy, right? It plays off. If it's steady all the way and it's machine-like, then of course the smaller foils and the bigger hand wings will win. But if it's like variable, just like regular nature, and you got no control of, it's like you go with a faster one to the middle of the channel, or you go with something a little bit bigger so that in the beginning you can get up right away, and at the end you can finish strong. So it's always a gamble of what you choose.
Yeah.
Matt, what size foils were you and Reza using?
We were both on the
Mike's
Mike's Lab
Lab,
700.
right?
Yeah, I think we were both on 700s. Like, knowing what I know now, if I had to do it again,
Nice.
I'd probably go 600 or see if I could have gotten a 540 before the race. But yeah, definitely, like, the big learning for me overall with all these races we did was bigger hand wing, smaller foil.
Yes.
But the 700 was nice to have. I mean, it's super fun riding bumps, but that wasn't the point of racing, right? So, and it does go fast, but it takes a lot of effort to really go fast. So yeah, the 600, the 540 would have been the choice if I could do it over again. But yeah, learned a lot about equipment for next year.
Right. Another thing, Matt, what did you learn about the ground and the asphalt on Molokai?
I was just going to say that, yeah. You want to say what my new nickname is, or should I explain it first?
Yeah, you can explain it, yeah.
Probably the most important equipment fail that I had was not sailing with my flip-flops or slippers in my backpack. So when we got to
Yes.
Molokai, it was super hot, and I was running from like shady spot to shady spot until what did I do? I think I put him in your luggage, and it went on the boat. So
Yes.
yeah, that's probably my biggest equipment learning of the whole trip is travel with footwear.
Yeah. That's how he got the nickname. His nickname now is Matt Hotfoot Tarini. Hot Feet Tarini.
Yeah, I was calling it the firewalk, basically walking on the asphalt there. Is like, yeah, I was trying to walk on the white lines on the,
Yeah, me too. Yeah, same.
Yeah, oh man, it's so hot. Crazy, yeah.
Oh, classic.
But then you went back out, Derek. You got Eli's wing and winged back out or something and got some more footage?
Yeah, everybody else was coming in, so I was like, just make sure everybody gets back, Kevin, Pilot John, I think that's them right there.
Yep.
That's us right here coming
Pilot
in.
John, yeah. Pilot John edged Kevin out in this race right there. Just by the hair of his chin.
Derek, what equipment did you use and how did your equipment work out for you?
Oh, shucks. Oh, I had a Blue Planet 6 meter wing. Probably could have gone bigger, but it felt good. Had enough pull. Jimmy Lewis 411 board and Go Foil. I think it was 475 or 450 wing with a 10-inch tail. Felt pretty good, pretty fast and going, but because of the start, everything changed and I kind of just relaxed and was flying. At first, I was just marching down each person that I saw. Like, okay, let me catch that person. Went up, caught them, and then I just realized, you know what, just film and get them. Like everybody's stoked to see footage of themselves. So I got them. I got whoever, our crew definitely, and but when I needed to step on the gas, yeah, my gear felt really good. Hand wing all the way down to the foils, super fast.
Yeah, cool. So, yeah, and you ended up in sixth place. That's amazing for, stopping in the beginning to help someone. You should.
Yeah, no, I think they're supposed to adjust the time. I don't think that was their correct time, but
Oh, they gave you some bonus time for
yeah,
being helpful. That's nice.
I'm not too sure, but yeah. Officially, I didn't finish sixth, but yeah, so be it. Like yeah, it was fun. It was an awesome crossing. It was a little bit better than last year. Last year was strong, and then at the end, I believe by the wharf, Rob, correct me if I'm mistaken, but it got real light at the end, right? Last year.
Yeah, last year was really light. And then this is actually the next day already.
Oh, okay, the
So the
Kamalo
next
run.
day was the Kamalo run, basically along the coast. It's like the last part of the M2M race. They had a race on Molokai that was a much smaller race. Not everybody did this race, but it was a fun way to spend the Saturday. We all did this race as well, and the wind was a little bit stronger. Yeah.
Yeah, that was a fun one.
Yes.
It was.
Yeah, super windy. I ended up using a 6 meter and let Eli use the 7 meter. And yeah, like Matt, you were chasing me in the beginning. Yeah, how is that?
Yeah.
Like Matt, every time I jived, I saw Matt right behind me. So
That was hard. Yeah, you were definitely you were going a lot faster, bigger wing, faster foil, and it's funny because the day the day before was more like a marathon, but this day I thought it was really fun because it was more of a sprint. So I really tried as hard as I could to stay on top of you, but over however many miles it was, you just kept creeping away. But I think I pushed the 700 about as fast as it would go, and that was just really fun. Yeah, it was exciting to do a short, fast race.
yeah, and that's you, right? So yeah, you were. I mean, I ended up crossing the line first. Last year, Bobo Gallagher did it too, and he was quite a bit ahead of me. But this year, he decided not to do it and rest up for the next day, I guess. But yeah,
Yeah, I think that's me.
Everywhere.
Yeah, I was gonna say too. What really helped was the Blue Planet wings with the orange, yellow, red contrast are really visible out there, so it made it easier to chase you guys even when you got far away. I don't know if you noticed, but I think Derek, you said the ozone wings are white cap white, so you could like barely see me out there. But yeah, you guys were easy to chase even from like it felt like a mile away. I could still see it, which was pretty cool.
Yeah, Derek's been really pushing me to make the wings super visible. So he's like the bright orange and yellow and red. So yeah, they're definitely visible. Good for
Yeah,
safety. Yeah.
totally. Yeah, there were times in the longer crossings where I was like, oh, I wish I had an orange wing.
Mm. And
Yeah.
and then Eli, what's pretty amazing is that Eli, I, I inflated the wing, and I think it's my fault. He had like an electric pump, and I pressed the buttons a little bit or whatever. I think I set the pressure too high, and while he was out winging, the center strut like ripped open, so he actually finished. And I think this happened pretty much in the beginning of the race. So Eli raced most of the race with a ripped center strut with the bladder kind of hanging out of it, but somehow he was able to keep it all together and finish the race. So that's pretty amazing. I think he finished third.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, he did really well. And I was like, wow, I can't believe I'm ahead of Eli. And then I saw his wing and I was like, oh, okay. So he had a little bit of a handicap.
Yeah, small kind
How
of.
was yeah? How's the bump set there? Fast? Yeah, yeah.
And
The
Kevin,
bumps were good. I was just going to answer your question, Derek. The bumps were good, but we were basically flying up the backs of them down the front more than anything.
Right, yeah, yeah. And that's, like doing these races, that's kind of the bummer about it, is you're going so fast that you're not experiencing everything that's within, like imagine if we were just luffing and riding those bumps left and right. Oh, that would be awesome, you know?
That's
yeah,
what I did.
Yeah.
it's actually very true that when you're racing, you kind of miss out a lot. Like, Kevin was saying how you were just enjoying the view of Molokai in the distance and this and that. And we were all like, what? You were looking at the island, you weren't focusing. You have to, when you're racing, you have to be focused and look at the water. But you sure do miss a lot, like, and you're passing the bumps, you're trying to go from one bump to the next bump in front. So you're not really surfing. You're trying to keep the pressure up in the wing. It's just kind of yeah. It's not just a fun run, right?
Oh, it was definitely a fun run for me. I just was happy to be participating in the race there, but I know I'm going to finish and I know I'm not going to be top three. So I just enjoy myself and didn't care what I was going to place, but just enjoy the moment. And I had the best run of my life. That was the best run for me.
I thought this the Maui to Molokai was the best one. I guess so.
Yes, yes,
that
Maui
was,
to Molokai, but it's the same. It's the same run. I guess the same backdrop.
yeah.
And the wind was stronger, so I really took advantage and just riding this well. And I was racing Pilot John. I said, hey, we're not gonna be partners this race. We're gonna race. And at first I was in front of him, and then later I saw him pass me. He was ahead of me, and then he was way ahead of me. I was like, oh, okay, I'm just gonna enjoy the ride. And towards the end, I see him fall. I was like, oh, that's my chance. So I was just hustling, pumping, trying to catch up with him to beat him. And he would have got up one coil and made it like seconds in front of me. So he actually placed third. And he actually placed. I was like, why did I cruise? So I just, hitting myself, telling myself that I shouldn't have cruised. I should have just tried at least and pushed myself harder.
Yeah. But like, yeah, but we were saying that basically when you're pushing and being super focused on just racing, you do miss out on some of the fun stuff. So, and really, you just don't want to lose sight of that. The reason we're doing it is because we enjoy it and we want to have fun, right? It's not just about all serious racing all the time.
Yeah, agreed.
Oh yeah, was the best time of all my foil life, I guess, this past weekend, and it's just went by so fast.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
part of it is too is the camaraderie and just hanging out together and talking shit and stuff. You know, just that was super fun
Yeah.
part of it too. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely. And also like the fall community is so tight right now. Everybody just helps each other and feeds off of each other. So something like being the fastest and I'm gonna win, but then also finding out, oh shucks, somebody didn't make it and you could have helped. It's like, hey, just you know what I mean? Like it's only quick. You just turn around, hey, you all right? Okay, get help and then be on your way and stuff like that, right? So yeah, just make sure everybody and then everybody had fun. Everybody who got out the water and finished and whatnot, they were just stoked. You could see the smiles on everybody's faces, you know?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and this day, Derek, you didn't even race. You just drove the car for us. So thanks
Oh
for
yeah,
doing that.
Shadow.
And it's super. Eli is from Molokai, so he has a condo up there. He let us stay at his condo. We're all crashing at his place, so that was super fun too. Kind of like a repeat of last year, pretty much, right?
Yes. Yeah. Full on. And I think Matt, was that your pump that you brought, or who had the pump?
Oh, that
Was
the other
Matt,
Matt. Yeah, other Matt. We had one pump. There's another learning.
Oh,
Maybe bring two pumps next year.
yeah,
luckily
yeah.
I asked on the chat. I
All
said,
right.
"Is it a stupid? I have a stupid question. Should I pack my pump?" And he's the only one reply say, "Oh yeah, somebody probably would have a pump there. Don't worry about it." And he bought the pump, and that was the MVP. You know.
For
Yeah, I think
sure.
Yeah,
nobody
definitely.
like it wasn't just us, but I think like everyone used our pump.
What was that like for our crew? We had about 10 people. Would you say
Yeah, I think 10.
10 people, one pump? And you know, like even people from Australia, California, some people from Maui. They're like, "Hey, can I use your pump?" I was like, "What? Nobody got a pump? Wow, how are we crossing?"
Yeah, I think even the people from Maui didn't bring a pump because they're like, oh, I don't want to have to take a pump back or whatever. They, you know, so it's like
Yeah.
everyone thinks, oh, somebody else has a pump. I'm sure.
Yeah. That was pretty wild, but yeah, we made it all work. I mean, I'm glad it wasn't electric pump because yeah, some of us probably wouldn't have made it.
Yeah, that thing would have overheated
Yeah,
for
true.
sure if it was electric
Yeah,
or run out of battery.
yeah,
So
yeah,
so then we're heading to the event party afterwards. We all got
yeah.
that was cool.
At the health center, yeah. There's awards. The winners. You guys looking spiffy.
Yeah,
Yeah, looking good.
and that was it. So yeah, so the that was the race on Saturday, and then the next morning was the Maui to Molokai race, and we'll cover that in a separate video. So you guys want to add anything else to the story here for the Molokai races?
I just wanted to
Oh,
say real quick, I was like super impressed by the folks who organized the race. Like, we all paid a minimal fee and showed up and had a ton of fun. And when we were there, I just started to realize like all the logistics that were involved and like the thousands of hours that people put in so that we could have a super fun weekend. And um, I just don't feel like I thanked those folks enough because it was really impressive. I mean, getting people from island to island and boats and food and you know awards and everything that they did. It was just yeah, it was amazing and super appreciative of it. And then also hanging out with you guys and the community that we formed over the weekend was just like it was just incredible. Like I'm still kind of high from the whole thing, and super fun driving around in the U-Haul and you know, crashing at different places and stuff. So yeah, I just had a great time. Like I think we all said it, but like yeah, it was the best weekend ever so far.
Agree. Like who didn't have a good
Yeah.
time? They're not going next time.
Yeah, definitely. Would like to also, you know, definitely big thanks to our host, Eli, all the guys who coordinated the vehicles for shuttle, the rooms, Kevin, your friend Shar, she let us stay at her place in Maui in Huau. That was super awesome. We got some great food to fuel us for the next day. Also, thank you to the community, Molokai. I know some of the guys are kind of, when we went to that convenience store at the end, they was kind of like, oh my gosh, what is all these people? But like, yeah, we appreciate you guys, man, you know, putting up with us, visiting and taking part of sharing and enjoying your island and your hospitality.
Yeah, definitely second that.
For sure. I mean, yeah, Claire did an awesome job again. And just also like the whole community comes together and helps out. Like they had all kinds of like trucks and vans shuttling people around and helping people out, you know, moving equipment and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, it's a huge logistical event too when you have a race that starts on one island, ends on another island. Everyone had like dry bags and bags they had to load on boats on unload at the other end. Huge pile of stuff that came across on boats. So yeah, it's takes a lot to organize a race like that, right?
Yeah, it's impressive.
Yeah, definitely.
So
Yeah,
we'll wrap
thank
it
you.
up.
And thank you guys.
You got any last words from this video, Derek or Kevin?
Aloha. It was just really, it was all about aloha.
Yeah. So thanks for watching and stay tuned for the Maui to Molokai race. We're going to do that one in another video. So stay tuned. Thanks for watching. See you on the water. Aloha.
See you guys.
Hello.
Okay, see you guys.